Good morning, guys. How are we all doing? So Dan from Trading with Dan here. This is our Bitcoin and Ethereum morning update. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, and we shall go straight over to those charts. So yeah, Bitcoin on the 4 hour. You can see we have been given a serious test of this of the baseline of this ascending triangle, which is not really what we want to be seeing. It's not really what we want to be seeing as crypto Bitcoin bulls. We don't particularly want this breaking down. I know obviously we can easily get picked back up anywhere around the mid 20Ks and then go back on bullish again, but I'm sure a lot of you guys would agree would rather we just went bullish from here. But either way, what we want is not gonna dictate where this market goes. But yeah, we have got the levels. We just got to keep an eye out. You can see we've got the obviously our lower level of support, and which is the major macro level of support, and then we've got these areas of resistance. Basically this one here, and this one here, which are obviously not as important, but are important to the to basically not breaking below here, getting back above, because obviously if we get back above those, we don't break below here. But yeah, you can see also we maybe got this like interim level that we're kind of looking at, this 32,000 level, which incidentally is pretty much the midpoint of this little bit of the range. The midpoint and ranges are important, but yeah, we could potentially say if we get above this level, we'll just draw a little horizontal in here. If we get above here, that could be the first sign that we are potentially gonna worm our way out of this one. So yeah, if we get back above here, and then finally start to make some progress through this horizontal, get us back into this zone, I think basically people will be a lot more comfortable attempting long trades, attempting to basically either buy back in or buy more, or go long, or basically buy, because as it stands at the moment, there is a clear and present danger of a precipitous fall way down into the mid even low 20Ks potentially. So that is clearly a big risk. That is clearly a massive risk. So obviously yeah, I mean, obviously people are going to be a bit worried about that. We'll actually just get rid of these targets because we pretty much know roughly what they are anyway. They're just cluttering the chart a little bit. So yeah, that is basically the name of the game for Bitcoin. We are putting in our final stand. Our is it Colonel Cluster? I'm not American, I'm English, but he put in a final stand in here somewhere against someone. But yeah, can we get back above here? Can we then get break above here? And then once we get above this level here, this about 33K, 34K level, if you start closing 4-hour candles above there, I believe we then fully still won't be out of the woods, because we've obviously got this downward sloping trend line and this 36K level resistance, but we will be looking like we've had a good chance. We would have given this a stern inspection, and there have been ample opportunities for the bears to take control, slam us down and get it below. And if we do start to basically close candles in this above here in this zone, it will look like they will basically just have to give up, capitulate, and then capitulate. They're trying to sell us down, and then yeah, we'll just spring back to the upside. So that is the upside. That is the downside. Clearly downside is looking more likely, just because we are down there and we've got the formation that we're in, and I mean you can clearly see we are looking bearish here. But obviously, like I have said, lots of bearish looking patterns in Bitcoin's macro bull runs, which we're clearly in, have broken to the upside. That is what markets are designed to do. I mean, they can't just be obviously up and away. They're going to have to basically give you some real things to think about. Ethereum, Bitcoin, the important one for me. Obviously, to be honest, actually, this level here is actually more important than Ethereum Ethereum Bitcoin pairing, because I do think if we do lose this, we're gonna have basically chaos over the whole crypto space. But yeah, Ethereum Bitcoin still holding in there, still looking good, still holding this level. So this is an indication of health. This is an indication of health in the market. This is an indication of the fact we've got a good chance of holding this 30k, just based on the fact that this is like kind of what I kind of see of the appetite for risk, the overall health in crypto markets. If this was coming down a lot, that and had been coming down a lot with Bitcoin price coming down, that would kind of tell me that people are basically rotating out of these riskier positions into Bitcoin, and then ultimately they're going to rotate out of Bitcoin into actual out of crypto, basically. But that isn't happening. So the health barometer of the crypto market is looking good. Obviously, a similar health barometer is a BTC.D, because it's pretty much a similar thing. As you can see, this has just been trading sideways whilst Bitcoin has been coming down. So again, that is not suggesting that people are taking risk off. They are basically expecting crypto to be fine, Bitcoin to be fine. It turned back up, and then this dominance come down, and altcoins still carry on their merry way. DXY has broken above its level. Obviously, we had a bit of a savage pullback yesterday in the stock markets. Don't forget, whilst there is a clear and present long-term correlation between stocks and crypto, I mean, I have got a bearish outlook for stock markets this year, and I don't necessarily have a bearish outlook for crypto, other than the fact that they are correlated. They are currently highly correlated, but could this be the year the correlation like either weakens or stops or changes or reverses? It could be, but you don't necessarily want to bet against multi-year trends. But like I've said, the way that they can tax corporations, and to be honest, let's face it, these corporations have made an absolute killing during this period of lockdown. So and lots of other normal people have struggled, so I don't see there being much of a moral justification against absolutely taxing to the eyeballs these corporations that have done so well, and redistributing that wealth. That's basically what central planners like to do. They like to pick winners and losers and redistribute. And whilst they maybe don't want to basically take away from their paymasters, the corporations, they also don't want to potentially have a French Revolution style losing their head scenario. So they're maybe going to have to weigh that up against, and also the people that own these corporations are maybe not going to want to see a French Revolution style scenario against them. So there may have to be some voluntary redistribution via eye-watering taxes on corporations. But what does that mean for crypto? Not much, because that's not them getting taxed. What does it also mean if some of that is basically distributed back to the people with stimulus checks? It means more money put into risk assets and things. So crypto being one of them. So yeah, that's where I can see a potential change in that. Obviously, we'll have to see how it plays out. But yeah, if we do go over to stock markets, you can see slammed. Look at that, slammed. But where have we come back to? We have basically come back to, yeah, pretty much properly back tested. This is kind of, well, I wouldn't even say it is really, but this is kind of like a back test of like the Bitcoin 20k breakout. Obviously, Bitcoin moves in larger numbers, and 20k is obviously further away than this, but this is the S&P. So yeah, maybe we had this level, we broke out of it, we fully and formally back tested it. We are actually on soon to be on a 4-hour 9 in 39 minutes. So yeah, could we get a bit more of a wick below, get supported here, and continue upwards in our merry way? We very likely can. Have we got this this larger horizontal range above this level? Yeah, we have. Could stock markets resume their way upwards, and then obviously DXY potentially resume its way downwards? Yeah, very likely it could happen. It very likely could happen, but yeah, I mean, if we are to break down fully and formally through here, DXY to get above these levels above this high, above this horizontal, and onwards and upwards, then yeah, things could start to look pretty different. Things could start to look different. Like I said, go back to the start. So if we do lose this level, yeah, I mean, we could be looking at well, we've got lots of levels on the way, but I would potentially have a first target down here. And that I mean, yeah, I mean, we'll basically be in a bearish, we'll basically be in a downwards trend, so you would have to look for a larger time frame reversal pattern, but you just have targets for bounces on the way. So yes, let's have a look at Nascoin also. Nascoin also having its pullback as well, but again, pulling back to this level. We could come a lot lower to backtest this level and still well bounce and be okay. But yeah, I mean, are we set for some downside? Will that downside turn into a macro bear trend? I mean, it's not likely at any given point. Calling the whole reverse on the trend is not likely, but we could be seeing the starts of a move down. But it doesn't have to be. Put it that way. It doesn't have to be. A nice top on the 409 there. Russell, what is a Russell looking like? Russell not looking as bad. As you can see, Russell not looking as bad. Russell holding in there. Obviously, I mean, obviously Russell is the one that's been underperforming. So now it is in a state of overperformance. As we rotate out of stay-at-home stocks. But yeah, Russell looking not looking as bad. Let's have a quick look at Tesla. Tesla not looking as bad. Obviously, Biden's been talking about replacing the whole, I don't know what he means by the whole fleet, but maybe the whole federal vehicles or whatever with electric vehicles. I'm not going to say too much about that guy and his policies and the stuff that he says, but so yeah, I'll stop right there. Silver hanging in there. What I will say is that silver is a major component of electric vehicles. So yeah, if we are going to go down that line, you might consider this as severely underpriced. Yeah, something to bear in mind. Yeah, anyway, that is enough about a lot of these other markets that we don't normally discuss quite so much. The main thing is this is holding in there. The main thing is this is holding down there. So yeah, back over to Bitcoin, and let's have a look at those stochastics. What are they telling us? Are we still basically bullish resetting those time frames? Which, I mean, to be honest, we kind of know we will be. So 4 hours turned up and pointing up. So yeah, I mean, this is looking good if it gets going. Could get us clearly through here, and that could trigger the dominoes, start to knock over the dominoes through this level, then through that level, and then through 40k, and then to 60k, all from a 4-hour stochastic. No, not quite, but yeah, but obviously if we do start to turn this back over, 10-hour, and we do start to turn 12, as you can see, we got rejected by this trend line, but if we do at some point turn back over and get back above this sort of trend line, I mean, it's not obviously 100% drawn like perfect trend line, but yeah, I mean, you could say we're back above it anyway, but yeah, but I mean, if we do start moving upwards from here, that could get us going. Daily looking like it could at some point turn up and get us going from a low point as well. And these are the ones that are obviously bullish in inverted commas resetting, so coming down pretty sharply. So when this eventually does turn up at some point, whatever the level Bitcoin is, it will have plenty of room to run. 3 days starting to get a bit of a kink in it here. I mean, but obviously these higher ones, 5-day, weekly, bi-weekly coming down, monthly gonna, I mean, it's gonna come down unless you do start to make progress to the upside. But yeah, so we obviously do know the weekly Stokes turning down is not ideal. But yeah, I mean, we can still hold ourselves in here in a bull market, as you can see in this period through here in the last crazy bull run. We could still turn back up, but it has still got room to inverted commas bullish reset, even if it came down to about here, turn back up, and then we had a similar price action here. Well, it's not price action, but similar indicator read. But yeah, so if 4 hour can start to get us going, it can get us above this level, drag that 10-hour and 12-hour back up from those low regions and the daily, then yeah, I mean, I think we will be taking out this 36k, and I think we'll be coming to test the top of the range. What happens at the top of the range, I cannot tell you. I always err to the side of basically staying within these horizontal ranges until we actually break out. So until we actually break out. I would say we're going to hold in much the same way this lower side. I have been like a 40 to 30k range, and basically we'll get held at this 30k level until we don't. So yeah, that is my bias for us to bounce this level unless we break it. So like, I don't know how much useful that is, but that is pretty much it, guys. You can see the historical volatility percentile coming down here on the 4-hour. If you look at some other time frames, coming down on the 10-hour, not so low on the 12-hour, but that is showing on these lower time frames that we could be looking at an expansion in volatility. Doesn't indicate direction. What does indicate direction is this downward trend and this lower level of support that we're close to. So if we do break and start to increase that volatility, we'll clearly get a move. We're clearly getting a savage move down here. But if that move comes to the upside and we increase the volatility, then yeah, that could boost us up to around 36k. So yeah, interesting times. Bitcoin is really testing people's ability to have confidence in it holding 30k at the moment, and that is what markets do. It is doing its job. It is doing its job perfectly. So yeah, that is it, guys. Remember, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I shall speak to you guys later on today.